So, who would like to give the introduction first? And you got to say what your group is. We've got solar versus nuclear. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, solar versus nuclear. So, who would like to start their introduction first? Okay, I saw Alex's hand. Go ahead, Alex.
So should I go over there and do it?
So, the way we've typically done it is like right here to talk to the judges, but don't do it because of that. You know how we were being silly that one time? We're like, dear honorable judges.
Okay.
You know, if you have it in you, do it. If you don't, nobody's going to say you're a bad person for not doing it. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
It's not about, like, charisma. It's not about presentation. It's about, like, information. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
So don't judge them based on that. All right, Alex, go ahead and start whenever you're ready. And however you'd like to do it.
Dear honorable judges, we are solar energy, and our energy source comes from the sun. We use solar panels and solar towers to collect our energy. The next 3 paragraphs will describe how important we are. Solar towers. Solar towers produce more for less. This way of making energy is very simple. The sun's rays go into the panels and create the energy. The energy from the sun can multiply with solar towers. Solar towers are expensive and hard to install, but the rays from the sun are free. Solar panels and dishes. If you have a bunch of solar panels and solar dishes, you'll get a ton of energy. All of this energy can be converted into batteries, and that's how you store the energy. This energy can power just about anything like electronics, ovens, and microwaves. Environmental effects. This energy is very environmentally friendly because the sun doesn't pollute. This source is easily available and renewable and doesn't pollute the air. Our energy power plant is big, but has little effects on the environment. Conclusion. Therefore, solar energy is underrated and should be used more often. This energy source is very helpful, clean, and green. All of our sources that we use will help the world a lot.
Good job. Thank you. Kiddos, one thing I forgot to say is when we make our T-chart, it sometimes is helpful to put nuclear on the left of our T-chart and solar on the right because you're looking in that direction. If you didn't do it, it's fine, but you could switch it too. You know what I mean? Whatever's going to help you remember, but please try not to get confused with your points because then that really messes stuff up. All right, nuclear, would you like to do your intro?
Sure. Our energy is nuclear power and it is powered by uranium. We are certain that this energy source is the best, and we will tell you how it helps the world, how common uranium is, how much it costs, and if it pollutes or not.
Nuclear energy does not pollute. This is good because the world is getting overpolluted, overpopulated, and biomass and coal energy pollutes. We do not want to pollute right now because the earth is very bad, is a very bad position, is in a very bad position right now. If we continue this and don't stop, there might not be life on Earth within 2030 through 2100. That is not good. Nuclear power does not pollute because it does not burn anything. The coast of Miami, Florida is going to be underwater soon because of global warming.
Nuclear energy helps with medical help too. This helps because it helps with cancer and also helps by showing if someone has a broken bone, which is called x-rays. Radiation helps with cancer too, and probably if we didn't have nuclear energy, we could not help cancer at all. Radiation can be dangerous if we use too much, but we can use a bit of it in hospitals and it is safely stored.
Nuclear energy is cheap. It is not that expensive, so we can use a lot of it. A pound of uranium is $39.25. We already have lots of power plants here in the U.S., so we don't need to spend money to build more. We have many places where we can get it, and we already have a lot.
It is common. There's nuclear energy on Mars. Scientists have found that the crust of Mars is made with a thin uranium, thorium, and radioactive potassium. This means we can power Mars once we get to Mars in around 2030. This will help by powering rockets so we might be able to get back to Earth if we have enough to build a power plant. Then later, if we start to populate Mars, we can build homes too. Homes, buildings, etc. That is what we found and what we could do if we went to Mars and used uranium for energy. There is also uranium found all over the U.S. and all over the world. This helps because we can continue to use it for a long time and have a ton of it out in the Southwest.
So uranium energy is a very clean and good energy, and we have lots of it, and it helps not polluting that much. It also helps us with medical related reasons. So that is what nuclear energy is.
In conclusion, you learned how expensive nuclear energy is, how clean it is, and some other supercalifragilisticexpialidocious facts about nuclear energy.
Those are supercalifragilistic. Alright, nice job, you guys. Thank you. Alright, first of all, I pulled a stick and I got Addie M, but she's already there, so I pulled another stick and it's Tyler. Do you want to do the stopwatch? So you would still be a judge, but you're, like, if you miss things about judging, it's okay, because your most important thing is the stopwatch. So here's how it works. Everybody needs to know, because it's not so much operating it as important as just knowing how it works. If you're doing an argument, or you're doing a defense, you get a minute. And that's normal, that's fine. But at any point in time, if you say, please stop the timer, we're going to go use some technology, he can pause it until you get your technology set up, and then you even get to play your technology while it's still on pause, assuming you don't exceed like 30 seconds worth of technology once it's like going. It might take you 30 seconds to set it up or whatever, right? And then as soon as you come back to the table, he presses the timer to continue, and you can stop. So here's how you stop the timer. You say done. So if, let's say I go, you pollute. I say stop the timer, please. And then I go over and I show how much they pollute. Then I come back to the table and I say done. Well, he clears it and starts the next one over. So it's a lot of this clearing, stopping and clearing. So it'll be start it, go, blah, 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 blah. You might pause it for tech. Stop it, clear it, and then start it again for the team that has to argue or defend it, right?
Okay.
It's just back and forth. And I'll help them from afar, but you guys need to know that because it's going to affect you when you're debating. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, so Alex's team got to do their persuasive first, their introduction. Do you guys want to do your argument first? You don't have to. I give you the choice. Would you like to do the first argument?
Sure.
Okay, so you guys are going to defend first. And you don't have to have technology for everything, guys. That's fine. Technology takes a little extra time, so it's not a big deal if you don't have it for everything. All right, so don't start the timer till they look like they're ready, but then normally we're going to start it right away. But we'll make sure everybody's ready. Nuclear, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, so go ahead, Tyler.
Solar energy is expensive. It is $1,000 per panels, and some people can't afford that. Done.
Our energy is expensive, but the rays from the sun are free, and that
produces more for less from the solar towers and all year long.
So the two things that we haven't done right yet, which is not a problem, it happens every year, is when you're done with your argument, you have to say done, and you guys can't start until they say done. Did you say done? Okay. I felt like you maybe did. But then you guys need to say done when you're done. But nobody gets to say done until they've checked with everybody in their group. So let's say I was Ben and I was talking. I'm ready to say done. I go, are we done? Are we done? And if nobody says anything, then you say done. But you don't have to panic, and it doesn't have to go really fast. Just make sure everybody's got a chance to speak. Tyler?
And then when they say done, I clear it.
You clear it. Exactly. And it's not easy, so that's why I'm saying if you miss your judging responsibilities a little, that's fine. Do a good job with the stopwatch. Okay, so you guys, are you done defending?
I got one more thing.
Okay, so JJ.
I know it's expensive, but I think it's totally worth it. Just because it produces so much energy for not a lot of sunlight. That's it. Done.
Make sure you check with your audience normally. Check with your team there. Alright, so now solar gets an argument, right, everyone?
Yeah. Okay. radiation is very dangerous, and you guys produce radiation. Done.
There around the solar plant, the nuclear power plants, there is a protection so that the radiation can't get out. They try their best to protect the radiation from coming out.
And I would like to add one more thing. There are people monitoring, however you say the word.
Monitoring.
Monitoring. Nuclear power plants 24/7. Like, they monitor.
Yeah, they monitor.
Yeah. Done.
So now you guys get an argument nuclear?
If you live in a polluted area, solar panels are less efficient. Done.
Yeah, that's it. But we can get rid of polluting power plants and use the solar panels more often. Solar panels are very green, and we can use. And if we use them more often, we won't use less polluting power sources like yours. We may be able to have more energy.
I have to say, I searched about the lead, and there's someone who wrote a blog of how efficient solar energy is, and they said it produces 6,000 more kilowatts per hour than they needed.
So just make sure that we realize not only are we judging, but we're also learning about solar and nuclear power, right? Yeah. So try to learn something. Thank you.
Chernobyl killed 985,000 people, mostly because of thyroid cancer. Done.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
So you've got a minute, so you're researching it? Is that, remember you have to be able to respond to any argument possible, right?
Yeah.
I can spell Chernobyl for you.
Oh, yeah, I've already been to the site, so
Oh.
I know how much it actually killed. Chernobyl actually only killed 30,000.
But over the years.
Let's see.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Then Tyler, it's helpful if you maybe say 10 seconds right now.
10 seconds.
So,
And that's it. So then they're automatically done at that point. So now it's your argument.
wait, guys. So,
Solar energy requires expensive and rare materials in nature.
And sometimes that's hard to get because if it's rare.
and some of them are toxic.
Yeah.
Done.
Don't forget about your technology, kiddos, if you have it.
Alright. I'm going to show the technology that I'm using some of that in the cards.
If at any point on your, so Tyler, you have to start pretty much right away.
Oh, so not when they start talking.
No, because if it takes them a while to organize, that's out of their time. If at any point in time they'd like to ask the other team to repeat it, it's on their time. But they can't ask for that if
Okay,
they'd like.
yeah, can you repeat
So
that?
start your timer.
Solar energy requires expensive and rare materials in nature.
And some of them are toxic, and if they're rare, it's hard to get and find them. Done.
Okay. So,
I think that's in reference to the solar panels. That there's some materials in it that are hard to find.
But when we get the materials that are hard to find, it just produces a lot of energy, and the more panels we get, the more toxic it gets. I know that, but that's the more energy it produces, and it will just keep multiplying if we get more solar panels, even though it is toxic, and not all of them are toxic. It's only a little bit of them.
I think it's done.
Yeah.
Done.
you guys know what this argument is?
It's theirs. Mason.
No, no.
Your power plants can blow up very easily.
Like I said, there's people monitoring that, and there hasn't been too many explosions.
There's only been a few, and most of them are from natural disasters.
Yeah.
Like the one in 2012 from a tsunami.
Oh
That
yeah.
was from a tsunami and earthquake, not from.
It wasn't just
It
it was a natural
was-
disaster. It wasn't just because of the.
It was not.
It didn't explode.
It's just as much damage as probably a coal explosion would cause.
Yeah. Done.
They require space and storage is expensive.
They require a lot of space because they're big and
When you say that, you need to clarify what you mean.
that's solar panels.
Solar
Done.
panels take up space and what?
Because they're big and they take up space. You can't just have like one of them that won't power that much.
Yeah, I
Wait,
know.
wait. They gotta say done before you can talk.
That's right.
Done.
Done.
I know it does. I know you can't just put one solar panel that won't take up much room, but if you can put enough, and there's many areas that are unoccupied and that people don't live in, that we could put these there, like all over the U.S.
Like maybe in the Great Plains, maybe you have something there, because that way the people that live there can get a good amount of energy and they don't have to use some energy sources that aren't as environmentally friendly, and they can still keep their peace.
Also, it takes about 10,000 square miles of land for enough energy to power the U.S. But, as I said earlier, it produces more for less. So you'll probably need less than needed of land. Done.
Done.
Our argument. Aiden, go ahead.
Terrorists can easily go into nuclear power plants and blow them up.
And they like to attack the nuclear power plants because if they find like a leak, all they have to do is just like kind of set it on
Yeah, just
fire,
set
and
on
it
fire
will
and
already
then
kind
it
of
will
Yeah,
just
they find
multiply
one
and
leak.
the
All they
thing will
need
blow
is
up.
one match to do that.
Done.
Once again, there are many people monitoring nuclear power plants, so it's very unlikely that terrorists could get in,
I don't think
and
that's
they're
ever
making sure that
happened.
nothing's broken.
Oh yeah, I don't
That's
think
never
that's ever
happened.
happened.
But it could.
Wait, that's not
Oh, I
allowed, so
can't.
just make sure that you understand that Alex cannot say that. It's kinda like a courtroom. It's kind of out of order. It's very important that you follow those rules.
Done.
Solar panels don't make energy 24 hours a day because at night it gets dark and they don't power as well as they do in the day. So what do you do?
And some people like to watch TV at night because it's like relaxing, and they need power to use TVs. Done.
Done.
Okay. So, during the day, all the energy that is produced can be stored in batteries, and if it produces more for less, the energy will go into the night. And as you said, people can watch TV at night because, like, through all the days, the energy multiplies, and we can use the batteries for it also.
Also, and how converting the batteries. Done.
Done.
It's your argument.
So your power plant costs a lot for construction and it's hard to build. And maybe you can explain why it is hard to build.
Well, we only need
Done.
Done.
We only need like 60 of them, and we already have 60 of them, so we don't need any more.
Yeah, there's lots through the world. Like, if we want to build a new one, like, it would just be adding another one into the world. We already have a lot of power plants. Done.
Oh, the batteries and solar panels are hard to store because they are large and big, but occasionally you need to replace batteries, which will add to the cost.
Are we done?
Done.
Done.
Wait, can you repeat that one more time, please?
The batteries and solar panels are hard to store because they are large, but occasionally you need to replace batteries, which add to the cost.
Okay, but when you have the batteries, you can make many little ones, or you can make a couple big ones, but like, you have a bunch of energy, and you don't know what to do with it, so you put it in the batteries. Why would that cause whatever you were talking about?
But you can't ask it as a question.
Okay.
I mean, you can wonder. I wonder why, right?
Yeah.
But they can't answer it. So.
And also, that's how we produce energy at night also. So, if the better, what?
Done.
If it's a high level dangerous for nuclear power plants, they store them in the ocean, which can blow up ships, aquatic life, and sharks and fish.
Can you repeat it for me? I wasn't
that?
listening.
If it's a high level risk of exploding, the nuclear power plant people will put it in the bottom in the ocean, and which it can explode up easily and hurt fish, sharks,
What are they
ships.
gonna put in the ocean? Or what part?
Like the thing that can explode, they'll put it in the ocean, and it'll wait, and might blow up and ruin sharks,
The stuff that
fish,
leaks out of the
ships, people. Done.
So are you saying, this is for me, not for anybody else. Are you saying like if a nuclear power plant is coming close to melting down because of its high temperature, that people can put it in the ocean?
Yeah.
and-
That's what they do.
That's what they
and
If it's a high level.
It's been done before? Has it
Mhm.
been-
Yes.
Okay.
And it's exploded before.
And then it killed
And it has
fish and
killed a
stuff.
plant.
Interesting. I'll look at it.
Done.
We can actually, instead of doing that, we change old nuclear warheads into energy, so we're not wasting any of it. Yeah, and they could be powered for a long time, so that doesn't happen like every day. So
Done.
done.
It doesn't produce much electricity for one single panel because only 15 through 20% that rays of sun that hits the panel gets transferred into energy.
And so if you want to produce a lot of energy, you have to get a lot of them and like cover your roof and that, and because they're big, the solar panels.
And that could be really expensive.
Yeah.
Kiddos, nobody used any technology yet, just so you know. I think you might be forgetting about it.
We have a video.
Wait, did they say done yet?
Done.
Oh, done.
Stop the time.
Wait.
Is it regarding this one, Aiden? So what was it, Charlotte? I was not listening. What's your argument for me?
Wait, that only 15 through 20% that hit of sunlight rays that hit the solar panel gets transferred into energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judges, do you understand that? Not all sun that hits the solar panels are converted into energy.
We're actually gonna wait for
think it's your argument.
Wait,
No, it's our argument.
repeat it. No.
Oh, repeat it?
Yeah, repeat it.
It doesn't
Wait.
produce much electricity for one single power plant or for one single panel. Only 15% of 20%
converted into energy.
yeah, from the rays of sun. And if you use a lot of if you need a lot of them to produce a lot of energy,
Lightly done.
and you need a lot of them to produce a lot of energy.
Okay. Yeah. Done.
Done.
So, when they install the solar panels, they usually face them where the sun, where the sun usually attaches, so they don't put them in the shade or whatever, and they can usually get some more energy out of it.
So you weren't gonna show technology on that?
No, we're gonna show this. Not
During your argument? Okay.
Should we do that? Okay.
I can restop the timer.
I ended up stealing the remote. I think it might just be easier if I do it. I'm worried that you guys might leave it on, for, like it was on nuclear, and that it looks weird to be projecting and advertising for one side or the other.
Should someone turn the lights off?
Sure.
Can I turn it on or?
Of course.
Every hour the sun's energy falls on the planet is equal to the amount of energy used by the entire human population in 1 year. The energy from the sun is in limitless supply. Unlike oil or gas, solar power is a reliable source of energy whose prices never fluctuate. Solar energy is free. How does it work? Solar electricity is generated using photovoltaic cell technology that has been optimized.
That's actually a good spot to stop no matter what, because we don't want to go more than 30 seconds. So kiddos, what's your argument that goes with that?
Well, mostly it is the solar energy is free and it's so reliable for everybody in the world that when if they just need something, if they just need a little energy, they could rely on the solar energy to make that little energy.
As of that, that's not an argument. So do you want to change it to be an argument? Because right now I would be giving points to nuclear. An argument has to be something that nuclear can respond to that's against them in some sort of way. So I know how to turn yours around, but I can't help you. Can you figure it out? And your time's ticking, you're at 28 seconds.
It's reliable. So unlike nuclear, which can easily backfire,
And it is free.
and like 1% of the sun can populate the whole entire world for a year. Done.
Nuclear energy is very efficient because you don't use the sun and you don't use solar panels. Nuclear power plants are very efficient, and people that live by nuclear power plants say it's efficient.
Yeah, and there's parts of the world like Washington that don't get sunlight, and it's always like rainy and stuff there, so they can't get
Yeah,
a lot of power.
Yeah.
So that's another place where we can't use it.
And it actually yeah.
Done.
Only areas of the world with lots of sunlight and very low heat are sustainable for solar power generation.
What's the word you used? Are sustainable?
Suitable.
Suitable.
So that means if I think if there's like too much heat, then it can like poop in some way, but
Release the gases.
Guys have to be louder though. If I'm straining, I'm only 10 feet away from you. You gotta be louder. I'm gonna give a point to the other team at the moment. And I'm not being mean. Try to be louder too.
Done.
Can you repeat it?
And you know what? It's on their time because they were too quiet. So pause the timer, please. It's on the other team.
Only areas of the world with lots of sunlight and very low heat are
suitable for solar power generation.
Okay. Yes, but like we said earlier with the solar towers, they produce more for less. And if you have a couple of areas in the world where you can get that energy, if you use the solar towers there, you're gonna get a lot of energy from the solar towers and the solar panels.
And also, when we use the solar towers in the very like open fields in the U.S., we can use so much energy, and we could stretch some to other states in the world.
But not super far states.
Yeah.
Because
Not like
then
California or Maine.
it's gonna take too much energy out.
We'll try to get 3 solar towers per state and probably 200 panels, I'm guessing. Done.
Okay. The first nuclear power plant is in Chicago, and now nobody knows this is. So they packed it up by a field in a college, so and they're not monitoring that, so it could easily blow up and hurt the college people because no one's monitoring it. Done.
So, don't start the timer. The first nuclear power plant was in Chicago,
Yeah.
and it's still there, and it's in a college campus?
Yeah, it's under the baseball. It's under the field in the college campus.
Okay.
It's got the Chicago PL1. So
Chicago
done.
Pile 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll read about it. Get some information. Alright, done?
The power plant is probably, they took the energy out of it, and it's probably just sitting there, it's just still, and deactivated. Because they can't put something that's might explode under the grounds of Chicago.
Because that might have been when the Chicago was smaller. I think the first one, I'm not sure how long ago it was, but when Chicago was smaller, they might have had it under there because they didn't know how big it was going to get. And people might be monitoring it, but I don't know.
And if people know about it, wouldn't people at least be checking on it once in a while?
Yeah. So, and monitoring it every once in a while.
Done.
Alright, kiddos, choose your last 2 arguments. Both of you.
Okay,
So don't start the timer yet, maybe decide what your last 2 will be, and then when we finish those 2, that's as much time as we have. And then we still have other things to do. We have to vote, we have to go around our conclusion. There's still more, right?
yeah.
But that's the end of the argument.
So,
solar panels are made out of harmful materials such as silicon. If you breathe it in silicon dust, which bad things will happen to you. Silicon dust can interfere with your breathing.
Done.
Silicon can cause cancer, but it's part of the world, so part of the Earth crust has it, so anybody could have it, you not mattering on the power plant. If every power plant has it because it's part of the Earth's crust, so it's basically everywhere. Done.
I have something
Okay.
to add. And if you were smart, you wouldn't just go around looking at the power plant. Trying to breathe it in. I don't think you would do that. I mean, maybe you would look at it, but you wouldn't try and breathe it in on purpose.
Done.
Okay, so when a nuclear power plant has a little leak, it will multiply, and then anybody won't be able to go there again because the leak is so it's just so waste. It's nuclear
dangerous.
waste, and nuclear waste is very bad.
It's radioactive.
Yeah, it's radioactive.
Done.
Could you please repeat that?
Okay.
When nuclear power plants leak, it multiplies, and then you won't be able to go there again. People won't be able to go there again, and that is nuclear waste, and nuclear waste is
Dangerous.
radioactive.
Done.
Done.
Okay, so once again,
Nuclear warheads are transferred into energy.
So we don't have nuclear waste just sitting around all over. So that might happen sometimes, but then when we do have it contained, we make it into more energy instead of just letting it sit and be harmful.
and there are also people making sure that there are no leaks. They're making sure everything is safe for the people around the power plants. Done.
Done.
No, there are.
Can you please repeat it?
The warheads, instead, as we said before, the warheads aren't just sitting around. The nuclear waste is not just sitting around. They convert them into nuclear warheads, which is energy.
Okay, I'm good.
It's there.
Nuclear. Once.
Okay.
I don't know what that was. Was that to clarify a question?
I don't know.
That
It was
like
their
their
defense.
That was their defense.
Oh, that wasn't.
I thought it was your turn to argue, wasn't it?
No, they asked to
I
repeat.
totally believe you. I took pictures, so I lost track of what was going on.
No, because we were saying that it leaks sometimes and you won't be able to go there again because it's radioactive and dangerous.
Okay,
And then now is their defense again.
great.
So
Thank you. I
then
believe you guys. You guys have
I
done
just
great.
want to hear it.
Should we restart the timer now then?
I think it's your argument now. Sure, he can restart it. That's fine.
Okay. The cost of solar energy is also high compared to non-renewable utility-supplied electricity. As energy shortages are becoming more common, solar energy is becoming more price competitive, meaning that now that energy shortages are becoming more common, solar energy, the costs are going up.
Okay. Yes, it is expensive, but solar energy is a reliable, reluctant, and it's renewable. So, would you rather have something that's lower price but non-renewable, or something that's renewable with a higher price? Done.
Was that? I don't know if that was 2 and 2. I wasn't
I
counting.
think it's your guys' last one.
Last time. Thank you.
Once nuclear energy blows up, nuclear works last for 200 to 500,000 years.
So you can't go back there for another. Once it blows up, the radiation waves is so bad that you can't go back there for another 200,000 to 500,000 years. Done.
When there's really not that many common, like, as we said before, there's just been natural disasters that meet the nuclear explosions, but it doesn't happen too often. So
In Chernobyl and the one in Japan were the really only bad ones. There's probably been like 1 or 2 more, but they're probably smaller. Chernobyl and the one in Japan were big power plants, so that's why there was such a big explosion.
And we knew people because, like, we were in a war with
Japan.
Japan, right?
can just
And we
stop
nuke
it.
them.
We can use it for weapons too.
Yeah.
To nuke people.
What's that you said, Abby?
We can nuke people, like,
That
you know how we nuked Japan?
in World War II, so it can be.
And then we won.
Yeah.
So you're saying
Maybe it's
nuclear
also
electricity is used in warfare?
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So what you guys need to do is go out in the halls separately. You truly don't get competitive. Find two different separate spots. Write down, you got 5 minutes to write down a conclusion that you can read straight from your computer or your paper. Everyone should be involved in the writing process, and you can choose if you want one or more people to be involved in reading it.
Should I stop because you don't have the control?
Right. No, yeah, you don't have to do anything. Close the door behind you kiddos because they got to talk to the judges. And I always stop the camera for the talk. Sure.
very good debate, people. Give it up for Solar and Yum.
Alright, so Alex's team, do you want to go first, yes or no?
Yeah.
Sure.
Does the other team got to go with the arguments first?
Alright.
So wait till I press record, but I did want to already.
So this one isn't timed?
No, these aren't timed. Alright, whenever you're ready, kiddos.
That was a great debate, and we think nuclear energy was a great energy source and a good source to debate with. We found some very interesting facts on nuclear, and we hope you found some on us as well. Our energy source had many good arguments and defenses, and so did nuclear energy. Solar was more green and reliable, but nuclear was more efficient and powerful, and nuclear was a great worthy opponent. It was a great debate and a close match, and whoever wins shall have good luck in the next round. That's it.
Oh, done?
Done.
Our worthy opponent, solar energy's battery storage is inconvenient because since the batteries are so big, and that means that they're hard to store. My worthy opponent, solar energy, said that they make them smaller to store better. That is even more inconvenient because that means they don't produce as much electricity to each battery. And this means that they don't have very much electricity, which is bad and not what America needs right now. When they said that no one goes around and randomly breathes in the silicon, we politely disagree. We politely disagree because if you live in a house with the solar panels and silicon, you will eventually breathe in the silicon, which is very bad for you. This can possibly lead to disease. Disease can cause death, which is not what we are aimed for. Done.
Alright, out in the hallway before the A to B. We're gonna vote. You guys, we're gonna vote silently. Nobody's gonna see it.
Computers, or should we take
It doesn't make a difference to me.
I'm so nervous.
Alright, so kiddos, I won't be in the way for everything, but listen up. I'll actually come over here. The way we handle things is, we know that ultimately 5 teams have to lose and only 1 team can win. So we expect to lose, but we hope to win, right? Alright, that being said, nobody gets worked up and upset if we lose. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Like, you can be disappointed, but you're like, shucks, I did my best. Bummer, oh well. Shucks, right? But isn't it true? Like, we're not about the competition part, we're about the learning in a fun way part. Okay, so when you hear who won, you need to be a gracious winner and a gracious loser. So gracious winners, like, they go, yes, way to go team, and they congratulate each other because they're proud of their team, right? But gracious losers come up to the other team and they tell them, congratulations, I'm really proud of you. It was a good match. I enjoyed debating with you, or whatever. Do you understand how to be a gracious winner and a gracious loser? Shaking hands would
Shake
be
hands and
wonderful.
you'd say, good debate.
Yeah, we did it in the hallway.
Awesome.
In the hallway, we were just like,
All right, so we do a little tiny drum roll, but not so loud that you can't hear. A little tiny drum roll. That's left, which I have half left. Okay. The winner for round 1, debate 1, is Solar.
good game, guys. Good game.
All right, the next 2 teams. Set up, please. Wind versus biomass. Set up. They got a little little shorter as we go because I have less directions to give.
Well, I don't know. Wait, can we hit this? Nope.